Hi, and welcome to 3 Things in 3 Minutes. I'm Nersi. Today, we are looking at Godspeed from Pandasaurus Games. It plays 2 to 5 players and plays in 60 to 90 minutes. What it's about: Godspeed is a worker placement game with some light auction and engine building mechanics that's set in an alternate space race. Players are one of several nations trying to develop an exoplanet called Minos. Now, each round begins with a high council phase where players will negotiate losing a team member for the rest of the round to gain a benefit or else suffer some penalty. The players will then bid using money and another team member's influence on becoming the first player or to gain rewards from supply cards. And then the players can use the remaining team members on specific matching locations, mainly gathering resources to build production buildings, which will increase their resource income, or help complete development cards, which will then move you up some prestige tracks. At the end of the game, the players will score for leading in these tracks, attaining some of 7 milestones, and completing set objectives for each few rounds that are called lunar seasons. What I like: though the game is fairly open-ended with knowing which tracks and developments you'll pursue, the game does a great job of giving players some direction with some initial objectives that have some small rewards and the lunar season goals. And the game also has a bit of asymmetry, mainly in the production building with which you start and the values of some of your workers when used in the auctions, which again gives you a nudge in a certain direction, but not so much that you can't change your strategy. And the auction is handled well, since it's primarily based on the cost reward of using a higher value worker in the auction and then not having it for the action phase, which is more interesting than just using money. And the game has some nice gradual escalation in the supply cards, which become less about resources and more about abilities and powerful relics that will fundamentally change the game's rules. And the production quality is great with some clear, colorful design and iconography. Now, points to consider: the main focus of the game is on winning the prestige tracks and being the first to reach a particular milestone or getting those lunar season goals. The development cards can help you do this, but you never really get a feeling like you're developing a planet. You're just moving up tracks. And even though a few cards build a small engine, really it's a shame because the interesting theme of the alternate space race does get lost in the gameplay. And because of that, the last couple rounds turn into more of a puzzle of how to squeeze out a few more points rather than reaping the reward of a carefully built engine throughout the game. And so while the rules are generally laid out pretty well, there's some missing or confusing explanation of certain circumstances, like how to handle discarding cards or knowing when certain rewards trigger, and that impacts gameplay. So, in summary, it is a great worker placement game that has a great use of workers and excellent auction, though the engine building is pretty light. It has great production quality, though developing an alien planet kind of gets lost in the gameplay and it ends up just being more focused on moving on tracks. And the game is good about giving you some direction early in the game, but the late game is kind of a point grab that's less exciting. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to the channel.